So I apologize in advance if this video gets extra long, but I do think this is a important concept that I'm about to go over. So bear with me, pay attention, have some patience, write things down, and try to get something out of this. So let's get to it. Bob, my friend Bob, sells rings for $450 each. Okay, so this is 50% more than it cost Bob to buy the ring. Now, let's say that Bob, ignore this problem for a second. Let's keep Bob in the picture though. Let's say Bob goes to China and Bob buys a ring for $100. Okay, so this is Bob. Bob is the guy who owns the store. So Bob goes to China, buys this ring for $100. And then he comes back to America and he's like, you know what? I'm going to sell this at an extra 30% markup. So what that means is, here's my ring. I bought it at $100. I'm going to take this ring and I'm going to take 30% of it. So I'm going to take 30% of it, which is going to be 30%, 0.30 times 100. And then I'm going to sell it for whatever that markup is. So the markup over here comes out to be $30. And then $30 plus $100 will give me $130. So to recap, if Bob goes to China, buys it for $100, and he wants to sell it at a 30% markup. So he wants to sell the ring at a 30% markup. He would sell it for $130. And the way I got 130 was I took 30% of 100 because this is the cost that he has to pay for the ring. So I took 30% of that and I added back to 100. Let's try another example. Let's say you work at a store selling shoes and all the shoes at the store are $80. And your manager comes in and manager's like, you know what? Today we're raising the price of everything in the store by 20%. By 20%. We're raising the price. How do you calculate that? You can do a couple of things. You can take 20% of $80, which will be 0.20 times 80. So I'm taking 20% of 80 over here. So that's what that is, 20% of 80. And 20% of 80 right there gives me $16. And you can add that to the original price, which is $80. And that'll give you the final price. So you know you're going to be selling everything in the store for $96. All right, so keep this example in mind also as I go back to this problem, the original one. Now Bob, let's call it X, the price Bob buys the ring at. Bob buys the ring. We know that Bob puts a 50% markup on it because the second sentence is saying that the price of $450 represents a 50% markup, or this is 50% more than it costs Bob to buy the ring. So let's say Bob buys the ring for X dollars. In order to put a markup on it, he's going to take 50% of that, so 0.5x. Remember what I was doing in the previous examples too. 0.5x is just going to give me, or 50% of x is just going to tell me what the markup is. And that, then we know he's selling for $450. So x plus 0.5x will give me 1.5x, because remember there's an imaginary 1 there, equals 450. And then I can divide both sides by 1.5 and 1.5 over here. And then x should be 300. So now what this tells me is that Bob is buying the rings at $300 and he's selling them at a 50% markup, which would make sense because he's selling for $450. So 300 now represents the cost for Bob to buy the ring. Now the next part of the question is saying Bob's employees can purchase rings for 15% more than it costs Bob to buy them. So if you know that Bob buys them at $300, his employees can get it for 15% more. So let's take 15% of 300, which will give me 45. So we know that if Bob buys it for 300, his employees can get it for $45 more. So his employees will get the ring for $345 each. The question is, how much would it cost one of Bob's employees to buy 2 rings? So if $345 for 1 ring, so we can just multiply that by 2 to give us the final answer of $900.